this season now. Because obviously it's different, I guess, because there's no fans in the stadium stuff. But obviously the men are top of the league at the minute, so this probably might be the best season to have filmed it. Well, obviously on the pitch, maybe not off the pitch, but
yeah.
Good question, just coming from Nigel Mann. Do you think we'll ever see the day of a mixed team?
Oh, good question.
You know, someone asked me that exact same thing the other day. I think football, it's physical enough of a sport whereby I think that there will always be a difference in most cases physically, and there's no denying that. I think that women's football is making leaps and bounds tactically and technically. And so in terms of finesse, I think that will get there. But, you know, I think if there was ever going to be a mixed version of the game, I think we would probably see like the female player being like a rogue number 10 or a false 9 or someone with a little bit of freedom that doesn't need to really recruit their physical ability. Look, I know some female athletes in America who actually would be able to compete, but we're talking about an exception to the rule here. I'm not sure if we're going to ever see a format, and I'm not sure if that's what people really want, you know. I don't know. Kerys, what do you think?
It would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Can you imagine the day that even just one player like made it into like a men's... It's like there's recently that NFL lady, have you seen? She was the first woman to play for a college team, I believe. That's obviously different because
she came on
physically. Yeah, exactly. She doesn't have to match up with them because she's just coming on to kick the ball. That's, you know, she's not going in big tackles or anything.
Yeah,
that's it. She's just a kicker. So yeah, I don't know. Like, just me. It seems because you got some players, if like the likes of like Lucy Bronze, even Sam Lewis, you know, physically they're strong. It does make you wonder how they'd cope, but it's more the pace, really, isn't it? Like, kind of like, I don't know, Bronzy up against Raheem Sterling, he's just going to knock it past her and run. You know what I mean? So it's more the speed.
It would be interesting to see where the top few women's teams actually are in terms of the Football League structure. Would we be able to be an average Football League 2 team? Technically and like, yes. Tactical wise, I really back ourselves. Physically, there is a big difference. I would actually really like to know the answer of that. At this moment, I wouldn't necessarily, but it's so open. I think it's so amazing that if you play football, like you can actually play in different countries. It sounds really like weird, but
it was never a thing really, and I think that's why my opinion is different to Aoife's, because obviously when I was growing up, the American League was the biggest league, and that's the league that everyone wanted to go to. And like you know, I said my idol was Kelly Smith, and all the players kind of who I looked up to were going to the American League. And so I think that's why I have that ambition a bit more than Aoife. But now, you know, people are actually wanting to come to our league, so it's completely, you know, the tides have changed massively.
Is it still the promised land, or as you're just saying, it's not anymore?
I don't think it's the promised land anymore. You know, we just signed Sam Lewis and Rose Lavelle, 2 American players, won the World Cup with the USA, and they chose to come to City. You know, Rose Lavelle scored the winning goal, and I think there's been a real influx of players that could play in the American leagues if they chose to, and you know, players are looking at the English league and thinking, you know, you got obviously Kerys, you got Alex Morgan at Tottenham. You know, it's an attractive offer, and so it doesn't hold the same promise as maybe it did 10, 15 years ago. Does that mean that it's not an amazing league? No, of course not. And them opportunities are so exciting. I just think the English league looks really good at the moment.
Aoife, could you have been travelling 2 days to and from a game though?
Yeah, that's a problem.
You know, I was chatting to one of the American girls last week, and they flew out to Champions League one day. It was Sweden. Came back the following day, and we were all so tired or whatever. And I was saying, "Gosh, you know, traveling abroad." And she said, "Would you believe that little trip is shorter than any of their away legs?" You know, and that was our Champions League leg. That was the furthest we were ever going to do, and that was shorter than what they do, you know, every week or every couple of weeks. And they say sometimes actually it's like a 3-night trip, because with the time difference, they obviously have to travel over and maybe even a day before. And so it's just bizarre, really, to think that actually becomes normal for so many of the girls.
Yeah.